kind of a man would actually do that?
A sociopath, a man with a deep grudge against women.
You strike me as a lady who can take care of herself.
That was my first experience with death.
What, are we having a little precinct meeting?
I'm helping Mike with an investigation.
Right, it's an undercover job.
It's just too graphic. Darling, it's not a medical journal.
I am the one who makes the decisions here, not you.
Mike, I'm so happy.
Did you ever hit her?
You must be kidding. I worshipped.
The game of pool hasn't changed a lot over the years, but shooting 8-ball with a woman definitely has its advantages. For one thing, the view is great, and I can usually count on winning. Good form.
8-ball corner pocket.
Well, I'm impressed. You got any more surprises?
Well, why don't you stick around and find out?
69.
We gotta get a shot. Wait, Jen. Hey, wait a minute.
This, Dr. J, is a lot more interesting, trust me.
Our topic tonight is women in power positions. With us we have Claire Morgan and Pauline Tanner.
Oh, who cares?
Your bartender.
Who is the last woman in a power position that you want to offend, right?
Claire, at Darling Magazine, you're in command of a staff of over 100. What is your breakdown of women to men?
About 50-50. It really doesn't matter to me whether they're male or female, you see, as long as the work gets done.
Right on, boss. Well, it must get awkward at times. There are a lot of men in the workforce today who aren't used to dealing with women in positions of authority.
Well, they can either accept it or be left behind.
Let's see what our viewing audience has to say. Hello, welcome to Woman's World.
Oh, yeah, hi. Great show tonight.
Thank you.
I really don't see the problem. I mean, I've worked for women and have gotten along fine.
Would you care to share the secret of your success?
Sure. You just do your job, and everyone can go home happy.
How do you handle disagreements when they arise?
I'll tell you. I've come up with a very simple solution. I just kill the bitches.
I'm afraid to ask what other surprise you've got in store for me.
Hello? I can't talk. Goodbye. Got it.
Got it. Hello. I cannot... Nancy?
You got 30 seconds.
Right. No, it's been a long time. It's okay. You sound upset. Well, tomorrow? Yeah, how about noon at Darcy's? Okay, I'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Surprise.
5 years ago, Nancy Atkins was a confused, frightened kid with one foot in an early grave and the other on her pusher's doorstep. She'd come a long way since then.
Darling is the #1 women's magazine in the country, Mike. We get phone calls and letters from strange people all the time. But this guy, he really gives me the creeps.
Do you answer all your boss's calls?
Yeah, that's why I recognized his voice on TV last night.
And he says the same thing every time.
I'm going to kill the bitch. Claire may be a lot of things, but that isn't one of them. She's the best boss I've ever had.
How long you work for her?
3 years. I started out as a receptionist, and now I'm Claire's administrative assistant. I'm scared, Mike, especially after last night.
And you're sure it's the same guy?
He's called 6 times in 2 weeks.
Did he have an accent?
No,
Did you recognize any noise in the background?
nothing.
You been to the police?
Oh, no, Claire doesn't want them involved. I invited you, remember?
Well, thank you. Hey, it's nice to see you're doing okay.
Well, I listened to some good advice from a friend. If you hadn't stuck it out with me, Mike.
What are friends for?
Thanks, buddy.
Let's get real, guys. We've got 2 weeks to put this issue to bed. 2 weeks. And we've got nothing but uninteresting photographs and boring articles about people who nobody cares to read about.
I thought that some of it was rather good, actually.
Well, if you've given up drinking and need a literary nightcap to sleep, then maybe.
Could you be a little more specific, darling?
Yes, I can be a little bit more specific. This article in Dr. Leslie Stevens is boring. Absolutely boring. This doctor is one of the leading surgeons in this country. We make her sound like some housewife who spends all of her days watching soaps and sucking on bonbons.
The truth is that outside the operating room, she watches soaps and sucks on bonbons.
Look, we're not talking about the truth here. We're talking about what you say and what you don't say. Forget about the lady in the slippers and the housecoat and write about the one with the scalpel. We're here to sell magazine, folks. Okay? Meeting's over.
Mike Hammer, Claire Morgan.
Hello?
Yeah.
He's agreed to take your case.
With all the practice she's been getting on me, she'll make a great mother one day.
Listen to him, okay?
No. She talks and I listen. Why don't you want the police in on this?
It's a hot story. And if my private life is going to become public, it's going to become public in my magazine. It's as simple as that.
Is there anything in your private life that you want to hide?
No. Are you always this direct?
I don't tap dance well, especially with clients.
Understood.
Any idea who this guy might be?
None. Mr. Hammer, this is all very upsetting to me, but really, I cannot allow myself to dwell on it. You see, I still have a magazine to run. You can guard my body, but please, don't breathe down my neck. Not at the moment, anyway.
Well, if you can work it into your agenda, let me know. By the way, what is your agenda for today?
An editorial staff meeting at 2, the fashion layout at 3:15, photographers at 4:30, and then the cocktail party at 7.
All in the same place?
Mm-hmm.
What about the cocktail party?
Cross town.
You got a date?
No.
Good. I'll pick you up at 6:30. In the meantime, stay here. You'll be safe. Bye-bye. My gut tells me that this guy did a lot more than just heavy breathing over the telephone. Now, what do you got?
Nothing. Forget about it, Mike. I don't know what you're talking about.
Then tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong. Okay. But if this gets to the media, it could start a string of copycat killings. This has got to stay between us.
Hey. How many?
2, same MO, straight razor. Both highly successful ladies, both in parking garages.
What about a list of suspects?
What about it, Mike? It's a police business and you know it.
Okay. Thanks.
Mike will be here any minute. Are you ready?
Oh, no way. I can't go. I'm swamped. He'll have to babysit me here. Oh, Charles!
You are absolutely right. The piece was boring, circulation is the name of the game, and fiction is stronger than truth.
Very funny. You'll have to cover for me at the party tonight.
Oh, darling, I'm sorry. I'd love to, but Baryshnikov couldn't go on without me. $150 apiece.
Look like it's going to be you, kid.
Me?
It's going to be a fun party, Nancy. Loads of good-looking guys. Come on, what do you say?
So twist my arm. I'll call a cab.
Not tonight, you won't. It's much too late. Here, take mine.
Thanks. See ya.
Have fun. Where was I?
Time to come up for cocktails.
Not for this girl. Too much work to do. Stick around for a few hours. You can take me home later.
Where's your car?
I gave it to Nancy. She's covering for me tonight.
You mean the party?
Yeah. She just went down to the garage. I'm surprised you didn't see her.
Theater here on A&E. E18, go ahead. Mary 125, right? Get it out to One Mary 111
I'll be right back.
No signs of a struggle, Mike. She never knew what hit her. Mike, I'm sorry. I know she was a friend of yours.
Thanks.
It's like this creep's got it down to a science.
Yeah, only this time you get the wrong woman. Listen, Pat, there was somebody else on that talk show, Pauline somebody.
Pauline Tanner. We're trying to get in touch with her now. Mike, I've already told you this is police business.
Pat, killing my friend while going after my client makes it my business. Now, I want a list of those suspects.
Okay, you'll get it in the morning.
This was no random killing. 3 women killed in 3 parking garages. I think we may have a pattern. I'd like you to compare the MOs. It's these little details, Hammer, that separate the professionals from the amateurs.
Thanks for the education, Larry. Any reason for her to stay?
I'll need a statement eventually.
Will scotch too?
Yeah, it's fine. Claire, we can't change what happened. It's all over.
Yes, so is the life of a wonderful young woman.
I know. Whoever killed her, I'd like to visit his neck with a chainsaw.
So would I.
You would?
Does that surprise you?
I'm impressed. You strike me as a lady who can take care of herself.
I can. I've been working since I was 15. Waitressing, department stores. I put myself through college.
Really? What about your parents?
They died when I was in high school. That was my first experience with death. It took me 3 years to accept it, though, you know, saying goodbye.
I know. It's never easy.
Please don't leave me alone here tonight.
I wasn't planning on it. I'm going to sleep right here on the couch tonight. And don't worry, you'll feel a lot better in the morning.
Thank you. Good night.
Night. There's lots of reasons to regret not sleeping with a woman you're attracted to. In this case, I had a new one. When I woke up, Claire was gone. Where the hell have you been?
Swimming. There's a pool on the roof, you know, and I love to go swimming every day.
Claire, listen. Until this thing is settled, I don't want you to go anywhere without me or a security guard. Do you understand?
Mike, this place is safer than the Pentagon. And I feel very secure here, really. Besides, it fits my lifestyle.
Yeah, but your lifestyle almost changed permanently last night.
The body was discovered a short time ago in the trunk of a car in a downtown parking garage. Captain Chambers, our sources inform us you have identified the victim as Pauline Tanner, a principal of the Tanner Tagger Smith law firm. Any comments?
Excuse me, ma'am. We'll have no comment until the next of kin has been notified.
Thank you, Captain.
Oh, my God. She was on the show with me.
You're kidding. I had to admire Claire. As frightened as she was, she insisted on going to work. I left her at her office with a couple of security guards, picked up the list of suspects Pat promised me, and took it to an expert on the subject.
I just killed the bitches.
What kind of a man would actually do that?
A sociopath, a man with a deep grudge against women. He blames them for something that hurt him deeply. A personal loss, a traumatic humiliation.
Like the loss of a job? Fired by a lady boss, maybe?
Not enough. He might go after the woman who fired him, but not other women. Woman as a symbol.
Dr. Brothers, I've got a list of men who might fit that profile. Men who've committed non-sexual assaults against women. Perhaps you could help me narrow it down.
Well, since each of the women he murdered was in a high-salaried executive position, He'd have to be someone who is comfortable in that world.
Lawyer, say, a doctor, a stockbroker, not a welder or postman.
Yeah. And it's my guess that he'd be working for another woman who is a strong woman.
Why would he do that if he hated them?
To reinforce his feelings, to make the transference from emotion to action more acceptable.
What you're saying is that this guy was giving himself a reason for killing successful women.
Precisely.
Thank you, Dr. Brothers. Be careful.
Oh, Mr. Hammer, one last thing. Because the manifestation of this man's psychopathology is so extreme, if I were you, I would look for a man who has lost something that means more to him, much more, than any job.
Thank you.
Claire, you have to understand, there are very good reasons for objecting to this.
I have to agree with Charles this time.
Thank you, Brenda. It's just too graphic. Darling is not a medical journal.
Then what does darling mean to you, Charles? What does it mean to you?
What it means to me is not to the point. We run the risk of offending our readers if we print it this way.
Darling is moving with the times, Charles. You are not. Now, please remember that I am the one who makes the decisions here, not you. That's it.
Pretty rough on him, weren't you?
You're right. He didn't deserve that. I probably should have stayed at home today. All I can think about is Nancy. I'm so confused. Nothing seems to make sense to me anymore. I've given up so much for my career, and for what? All of a sudden, I feel so alone.
Claire, as long as I'm around, you're not alone. Now listen, I need your help. Here's a list of half a dozen names fit the profile of the killer. Do you recognize any of these names?
Not a one.
Okay. Now, 2 security guards are going to take you back to your apartment tonight.
Yes. What about you?
I've got some checking out of my own to do. Now, don't talk to any strangers. Just from here to the house, and that's it. Agreed?
Agreed.
Hang in there.
She had it coming, Mr. Hammer.
Really? How's that?
You know anything about the brokerage business?
Enough to stay out of it.
Hello? Yeah? Hang on a minute. I'm sorry about this.
It's okay.
Money in the bank. Got it. One of my clients just made $200,000.
Not bad for a day's work.
Yeah, you see, that's the whole idea. To make investments like that pay off. We'd have meetings, me and what's her name? My boss? If I said A, she said B. If I said buy, she said sell. Well, you can guess the rest.
Tell me.
My way would have made our clients rich. Her way, they lost their shirts. One day I overheard her boss asking about it. You know what she says?
I'm more interested in what you did.
I decked her.
Really? If your boss had been a man, would you have decked him?
Sure, if I had the same 20 pounds on him.
So who are you working for now, another woman?
My uncle. Once was enough.
You better stay away from your aunt. Thanks. Stuart Bryan didn't set off any alarms. But when you're looking for a psycho, it isn't always easy to feel the heat until somebody gets burned. There were a few more names on the list, which I checked out until it was time to check in. Hello. I'm Mike Hammer.
Oh, Laura Sherrill, your new temp?
Ah, welcome aboard. Listen, I need to reach Claire Morgan. Her name should be in the Rolodex.
I'd love to, but I have to go.
It'll only take a second.
I may not have that long. I really have to go.
Oh, I see what you mean.
My taxi?
I'll take your word for it.
It was nice meeting you.
You too. Laura definitely gave new meaning to the word temp. And Claire gave a new meaning to the word heartburn. The problem with having a client who has a mind of her own is you can't count on her doing what she's told. Claire should have been in her apartment answering the phone. She wasn't. And suddenly I was very concerned.
I'm Jack.
Oh, hi, Jack. Goodbye, Jack.
Claire Morgan. She expecting you? Yeah, my name is Mike Hammer. I'm on her list. Check it out. It's under M, Morgan. You got a camera up there in the swimming pool area?
No, we just cover the ground floor, the garages, the main entrances, the lobby, service elevator. You sure you're on her list?
Yes, I'm on her list, and you're going to be on my list, pal, unless you let me up there.
Oh, yeah, here you are. Go right on up there.
Send me a bill. Listen, pal. Somebody got up at the pool level tonight with a straight razor.
What are you talking about?
You said that you had a video camera for every entrance, right?
Yeah?
I want to see tonight's tapes.
We don't tape, we just monitor.
Then how did somebody get past you on your monitoring system?
Nobody got past me, I swear. An unfamiliar face, I would have stopped them.
Yeah? I got past you. You okay?
I'm alive, thanks to you.
Mind if I use your phone?
Who are you going to call?
A friend of mine at the police department.
Oh, my, please. Not tonight, please. Just hold me.
I didn't feel like swimming today anyway. Besides, nice girls always stay for breakfast.
Great, I'm starving. Listen, how many people know you go swimming every evening?
A lot of people do. I even go swimming in the afternoon, you know, when I get stressed out.
Well, that would include everybody in the office.
Of course, it's no secret. Why?
Because this guy is no stranger. You better keep that in mind when you go to work today.
Speaking about work, I'm late. I think I'm going to be even later.
I could only think of one man who worked for Claire, knew her habits, and had taken a lot of grief from her lately. Her features editor, Charles Forster. I called Pat to run a check on him, and then paid a visit to the next man on my list, Kevin Landers, a computer analyst. It seems that one of his former bosses was a lady. When she pulled the plug on him, he tried to rearrange her face. Nobody answered the door at Landers' place, but that's never stopped me yet. I guess the lady's underwear was Lander's own business. But the pantyhose looked like the kind the creep at Claire's pool had worn on his kisser.
What are you doing here?
My name is Mike Hammer. I'm a private investigator.
What do you want?
I want some answers, pal. You always say hello this way?
You always break into people's houses? What'd you expect me to do, shake your hand?
I want you to explain this. And don't tell me you're with the ballet.
What's this about?
It's about murder, pal. Now, do you want to continue being a suspect, or do you want off the hook?
My wife's. She died a year ago in a plane crash. I just haven't been able to bring myself to get rid of her things.
Really? Did you ever hit her?
You must be kidding. I worshipped her.
What about your boss? Your rap sheet says you bounced her around pretty good.
She was no lady. She pushed and pushed, and then one day I had enough.
How long were you married?
Since college. She worked, I studied. And she went back to school. got a law degree.
How'd you feel about that?
Proud. She worked her way up the ladder fast. And then it happened. On one of the business trips, a private plane. There'll never be another woman for me.
Sorry, next time I'll knock. Kevin Landers had had a tough break. So in a lifetime, who hasn't? It wasn't enough to cross him off my list.
Guys from the lab went over Claire's building with a fine-tooth comb. Here's how it's laid out. Guy at the pool got off on the 12th floor, dumped these pantyhose into the trash drop.
Forensics come up with anything?
Yeah, a dead-end street. Saliva, blood typo.
Yeah, just like half the city. No broken off hair strands or hair follicles?
Nothing. You can forget about Charles Forrester. He's Mr. Clean. Never even had a jaywalking ticket.
Hey, come on, Pat. Nobody's that straight.
He is. Never married, very few girlfriends. He put all his energy into his work. Here's the only wrinkle. He was next in line when Claire Morgan took over as head honcho.
Well, I guess they figured a woman should run a woman's magazine. You mind if I borrow this?
No way, Jose.
Thanks. That's okay. One size fits all.
It's line 3. Line 3, Sergeant. When you get this.
Hello, sweetheart.
Mike, I've been trying to call you.
I know. I've been working on this case. Listen, I need a favor. Thanks. I owe you one.
How about the day after tomorrow?
You got a date.
Charles, I've considered your thoughts about Brenda's article. I think you're wrong. We'll go with it as planned, okay?
Okay. But I want to go on the record as being opposed.
Listen, Charles.
I thought you all might like to know. The police have a line on the killer. They found this in Claire's building. Lab tests have given them a pretty good idea of how old the guy is, color of his hair, ethnic origin. Whoever it was knew that she was in the pool, knew her habits, and knew the layout of the building. But in the final analysis, that's all icing on the cake, because whichever way he went out or came in, there was a camera watching. He's on tape, without his mask. The drop to the bottom is always faster than the climb to the top. Charles Forrester was no longer the darling of Darling magazine.
Our sources confirm that the police have linked the murders of the 4 women to Charles Forrester, vice president of Darling magazine. Forrester, who was 40 years old.
Theater here on A&E.
I had closed the case on the man who tried to kill Claire, and she wanted to settle up. Anyone who doubts that women control 2/3 of the nation's wealth should get a load of the check she wrote me. Oh, come on. This is way too much.
When somebody gives you your life back, well, it's my way of saying thanks.
You expressed your gratitude very well last night.
Mike, listen, this whole thing has put me way behind schedule, and I've got an issue to put to bed by Friday. How about dinner on Monday?
I guess I can fit that into my agenda.
Good. You choose the restaurant.
No, you pick the restaurant. I'll pay the check.
Very well.
a case is finished and the paycheck is deposited, I always get a certain feeling. This time was different. The hair on the back of my neck told me that something was wrong. I didn't have that old feeling.
What's with your phone? I've been trying to call you for an hour.
I must have fallen off the hook.
Oh, yeah, right.
What's going on?
We got troubles.
Yeah? What?
Charles Forrester, he's not our pigeon.
Come on, Pat. He tried to kill Claire and he tried to kill me.
Mm-hmm. But on the Pauline Tanner thing, he was in Chicago at a banquet with 50 other people.
You're kidding.
Tried to kill Claire and blame it on the person who's still out there.
Must be a copycat killer then.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got an idea who he's copying.
Good evening, Captain.
Well, hello, Maggie. Or should I say Officer Williams? What, are we having a little precinct meeting?
I'm helping Mike with an investigation.
Right, it's an undercover job. Captain?
Yeah, well, yeah, right. We gotta talk.
Yeah. I hated to admit it, but my instinct turned out to be right. I called Claire at her office. She didn't answer.
Señorita Morgan?
Yes.
Sí, es José. Un hombre, a mango CU. Yeah, mustache y tiene un old-fashioned sombrero. No, hat. Sí. I tried to stop him.
It's okay, Jose. He's a friend of mine.
To put the gun down.
Easy. No problem. Why don't you take off your mask, Landers? Or is it too much trouble for you to face your victim?
Don't come any closer.
You know, I really missed on you, Kevin. A very smart doctor told me that the killer lost more than his job. You lost your wife. I should have remembered. What was her name? Sylvia, right?
She killed her.
Claire didn't kill anybody, neither did anybody else. What'd you do, knock her around a little too? Then she decided to leave you, right?
Yeah, the bitch left me. She wouldn't let up. She kept putting me down and putting me down. They all put you down, Amber.
Yeah, well, now it's my turn. That was a very close shave. It was even closer for Landers.
All right.
quite an experience. But nothing that had happened could have possibly prepared me for the shock that was yet to come.
Mike, your beer's getting warm. Mike, I've ordered you a scotch. Oh, excuse me.
It's a good thing I'm thirsty. Ladies, I'm Claire Morgan. This is Maggie Williams.
Don't tell me this is your idea of a double date.
Could be double trouble.
Well, don't you think you owe us both an apology? Or at least a game of pool? You shoot pool?
Yes, I do.
I'll play the winner. Hold my calls.
Join us for a celebration of the Rodgers and Hammerstein songwriting team on an all-new A&E special presentation Sunday at 8 Eastern, 9 Pacific. Now, a jealous Laura snoops around and is shocked to find Remington secretly marrying a call girl. Next on A&E.